Community media is honored to celebrate not only Adams County, but the people who helped make this year special. So join us on our holiday edition of Adams County Unwrapped, where we highlight the outstanding accomplishments of individuals and nonprofits right here in Adams County. This season is all about coming together, showing gratitude, and shining a spotlight on those who have made a remarkable impact through the year. So grab some hot cocoa, cozy up, and join us as we unwrap the incredible achievements of our neighbors, friends, and community. This is Adams County Unwrapped. Hi, it's Amy, and thank you again so much for joining us today for Adams County Unwrapped, where I have a very, very special guest, director and writer Bo Brinkman. You most likely recognize him from many of his projects, including the recent Gettysburg. We just celebrated the 30th anniversary of that movie. But Bo Brinkman came back into Gettysburg because he wanted to make magic, and he did so in fact. So today I welcome Bo Brinkman.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, good to be here.
It is, and I have some questions for you, and I want to just start off with, tell us who you are, what you've done in your career, and what led you back to Gettysburg.
Well, what led me back to Gettysburg was the fact that I made a movie here 30 years ago, and then 10 years later I made Gods and Generals, so I was very familiar with the area, and I would come back over that period of time over and over again, and I just fell in love with the area and the people, and that's why I live here part-time.
And speaking of love, you brought that full circle back into Gettysburg with your movie that you made here this past January and February.
Yes, A Gettysburg Christmas. It's funny how it came about. Every time I'd go somewhere and run into people and talk, they would say, when are we going to make a movie? We need another movie about Gettysburg. And I kept saying, yeah, but we can't do a Civil War movie. They've already been done, and they're not making them anymore. They're not very popular. And, but, you know, and I just kept thinking about it. And I was also told that, you know, tourism has gone down a little bit, and people aren't into the whole, the Civil War as much as they were 20, 30 years ago. And so the more I met people and talked, the more I thought, maybe we can do a film here that's a lot lower budget. We don't have $20 million to make a film in Gettysburg. Mm-hmm. And then I met Craig Rupp, who had written a little novelette, and I fell in love with the title. It's called A Gettysburg Christmas. And in his novelette, it was a male lead in the story. So I took the book and I made it cinematic, and I flipped it around to a female lead, and I changed the story up. And I thought it would be a good choice to do a Christmas movie for several reasons. One, it's the lowest time of the year for tourists.
Right.
You know, the holiday season, it's very, very slow in December, mm-hmm. And it gets slower, you know, up to Christmas and the New Year. And spending a few Christmases here, I was like, this is the best place in the world to spend Christmas.
It truly is.
It's such a great place to be during the holidays.
And not to sound cliche, but it actually looks like a Christmas movie.
It does, and it is, and I just thought, you know, we could do a Christmas movie here and send it out across the nation like a Christmas card to the nation. And, you know, I'm hoping to bring in a lot of tourism from this little movie. That's why I took so many locations of the town and created scenes on the street and in specific businesses and shops to give a kind of an overview of what a beautiful town this is, and especially during the holidays.
I didn't know that. So when you were rewriting this, you would walk around and see a place and say, that has to be in this movie.
Cozy place, a cute shop, the town square all lit up.
And there are plenty of those.
Oh, yeah.
You were inside Lark. You were outside
Yep.
the Shriver House. You walked up and down Baltimore. You were in the square in front of the hotel where Lincoln stayed.
Right, and the Will's house, and also,
Yes.
you know, I chose that bench. I knew I was gonna shoot a scene on the bench with Bruce Boxleitner and Lee Majors a year before I did it, because I just could envision that park bench, the backdrop being the Lincoln Inn, you know,
Yeah.
and I was like, and with the tree, and I had the whole idea of the snow and everything. So all of the scenes that I wrote in Gettysburg were for those specific locations.
That's really great.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And another thing that's so great about those locations is you really didn't have to alter or set design the exterior almost at all.
Nothing. Not really. No.
So Gettysburg's a pop-up set ready to go.
I'm telling you, it was fantastic. And I don't know why I think like Chestnuts. I was at the
Shriver House.
in front of the Shriver House, but I was at the Christmas festival, and I saw that these two guys had roasted chestnuts. Well, that goes so well with Christmas. So I hired these guys to come back for the movie so that we could do, you know, a vendor on the street, you know.
It's completely authentic because that's just what they do.
Yeah, yeah, and they were in their period costumes. So you know, just little things like that we did, and highlighted some of the stores and the restaurants because they were beautiful, you know, and that lend themselves to the Christmas holidays the way they were decorated.
So
yeah.
Some other remarkable and magical things that you did with this movie is you did use the exterior of the shops, you used interior, you are not just highlighting the story, you're highlighting not just the town, you're really highlighting the people, because I know you had hundreds and hundreds of background actors.
Absolutely. Close to 300, yeah.
Come out in the one day.
And brave the cold.
Just freezing.
And we couldn't have done it without them. I mean, you know, and that's a very expensive, we had a limited budget and a short time to shoot this thing. And without the extras and the help that we got from the locations and the people, they would bring us hot food when we were out at the Showers orchard.
Yeah, the Christmas tree farm.
The farmhouse that we shot in.
Oh, yes.
And people were bringing, because it was bitterly cold in January, and every day someone would bring hot food for us between our meals that we had contracted them to cater out. But you know, it was like a potluck. Every day, every morning, I would hear people in the van going, I wonder what we're going to get this afternoon, man. You know, people would bring chili and stew, and
this community
it was awesome.
Really felt like they were a part of this movie and the making of.
Yeah, even leaving their Christmas lights on until February, I thought was wonderful, and the town as well. The town left their Christmas tree up. People loved that. I know that Chris had mentioned to Jill at
Jill Sellers.
Jill Sellers at Main Street, Gettysburg. She's like, everyone I talked to told me how much they loved having the lights up a few weeks after Christmas and New Year's Eve.
True.
Because usually they come down like the first day after New Year's Eve, and all of a sudden it's just like, boom, you're back in reality.
Yeah.
But it was nice just to have those lights for a while and just ease out of the holidays rather than it just be like that.
Exactly.
So, you know, she was asking Jill, like, maybe y'all could leave them up for a week or two after the first of the year, you know?
So, yeah.
That would be neat. I would love that.
I loved it. And it actually made my winter season here much shorter, because the time those lights came down post a wrap on February 4th, so they came down probably by February 7th or so.
Yeah.
You know, you're now the second week of February.
Yeah.
And then it's March and spring all of a sudden. So
I know,
it really
it was
did
great.
help through that. But I want to touch on not just the people coming out and being extras and the wonderful participation of our community, but I want to talk about how this movie was able to be accomplished in what I believe is record time for you.
Oh, yeah.
15 days.
I've never shot a movie that fast.
15 days from start to finish with the actors in town, and the support that you got from some of our local communities. So Jill Sellers at Main Street Gettysburg, I know she was an integral part of helping the
Jill,
town.
fantastic, yeah. And Bonnie,
Yes,
Carl.
yes, from Destination Gettysburg.
Destination Gettysburg were so supportive from the very beginning. Actually, from our announcement of wanting to make the film, they organized a lot of people, about 30 or 40 people, to come in and hear what we wanted to do. You know, and I think a lot of people were like, right, you're going to make a movie, you know. But you know, we had a limited budget, and I had 15 days. So that's why I walked out every store that we're going to shoot in, and I walked it out, and I did what is called a shot list, and I shot listed everything that we were going to do in that day in that space. You have to, because you can't get there and try to guess what you're going to shoot or think of it then. You have to have a plan, and you have to have a shot list so that the lighting guys know exactly what to do when they get there. And the camera department knows what we're doing.
Here's another one.
They get there.
I was on set the day that one of the days you were interior of Lark. And what is so extraordinary about that really great store right on the square of Gettysburg is not only is the aesthetic completely gorgeous, again, no set design needed at Lark, but the floors have a very unique, wonderful sound. But when you're making a movie, that's something else you have to consider.
That was a tough one.
Yeah. So
but you will never hear it in the film. Yeah.
I will tell you, it is one of the more unique things that I do love about shopping and being at Lark is that ambiance they provide. But back to what you said, you walked every single shot, interior, exterior, really gave it a look. So not only you could get the best shot, but so that you could also highlight the town in the best light possible.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the year before we shot, I walked through the Christmas house and Haas into the chocolate shop with Matt and Summer, my daughter, and Chris, and we literally read through step by step how I was going to block it out. I wanted to make sure that it worked with the dialogue all the way through the shop and into the chocolate store. So it was just stuff like that. We were very, very prepared, you know. And you'll see a little unevenness with the snow. I shot in 2021 when we had the big snow.
Yeah.
I shot all of these drive-by scenes and all of the stuff out the windows because I knew I couldn't count on the weather any other time I shot it.
Yep.
So we still had to do VFX, but the way it looks is great because we have a lot of snow in the beginning and then a little less snow in the town. Like, you know, we're up in the hills and it was snowing, and now it's not snowing that much in the town. And then, you know, go out of town, it's snowing a little more, and then we get to the farmhouse and there's snow, but just not a whole lot. You know, it's not, you know, covered.
And it does speak to it. It snowed in town.
And that's how it happens anyway.
Yeah, it snowed in town one day.
It did.
But on set location at the farmhouse, we'd get there.
Yeah.
There would be snow.
Oh, that's right. There was snow on the ground. Yeah. We used that, and then we used a lot of fake snow, and we used some VFX as well.
Yeah.
That's CGI. We add snow to the picture, which is very costly.
What I love about your set designs, as I said, each one of these businesses that you filmed in the interiors and exteriors. At the very beginning of this, you said this is kind of our postcard to the world from Gettysburg.
Yeah, a little Christmas card to the country.
So if you're somebody like me who just embraces and loves love and Christmas, here's something I can tell everyone who's watching who's not part of Adams County or Gettysburg. The images that you see, the storefronts and interiors, you can come to Gettysburg and have that exact experience.
Absolutely.
And that was remarkable from my eyes, because sometimes people will write maybe a holiday film and it's faked and they change things and you fall in love with this set, but it really doesn't exist.
You don't recognize it if you were in that town.
Not at all. So what you did was actually exactly what you said you did. Postcards from,
Yeah.
And
we highlighted even the Christmas festival because I brought my DP out early,
yeah.
you know, before we even started shooting, just to get what is called B-roll of the Christmas festival, so we could, you know, use all of it together in one little movie.
And
you know,
really capture the essence and the heart of Gettysburg.
I believe it did. Yeah.
I know it did.
Fingers crossed.
I know it did. Absolutely.
A lot of films I've been involved in, one of the hardest things was to find extras.
Yeah.
And that's paying them $50 to $75 a day each. I worked on a film in October before, last October, in Houston. And we had a lot of crowd scenes, and it was a full-time job getting people in Houston, 5.5 million people, very difficult having, you know, to pay background actors to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very difficult to wrangle all these people for different scenes. And I was never worried about that here, you know, because the whole town was so supportive of the film and the whole idea of it. So we had I think over 1,000 people that had emailed wanting to be extras. And I'm so sorry for the people that weren't in it. I wish everybody could have been in it, you know. You know, we did a relighting of the Christmas tree, and we had
Yes.
a huge crowd out there. That was wonderful for the Tuba Fest, but we did a relighting during the Tuba Fest.
I was there during that.
Were you?
Yes.
Yeah, that was so amazing.
It
you know?
really was. And it's, again, I keep going back to it. It just speaks to the heart of this town and the community.
Yeah, it does.
Not
Absolutely.
just the organization stepping in and helping provide the insular needs from the town and
Right.
businesses, but each person so happy and warm-hearted to be a part of this town and its authenticity that they showed up on freezing cold days. We were out there for hours on some days. I remember one day I had a bunch of hand warmers and I was just like passing them out
Yeah,
to
I remember.
people. And then at night when we'd wrap, if it was a certain time of night, you know, we'd always go to different pubs and restaurants in the area that just embraced everyone. And then the extras would come, and it felt, and I know this sounds so cliche, it felt so family to make
Yeah.
this movie here and be a part of it.
Well, and I got to tell you, it felt the same way with me for many reasons. First, most of the crew I'd been working with for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're not just people I work with. All of them are very close friends of mine. All of the actors were friends of mine, who I've known for years and years. Bruce Boxleitner was married to my ex-wife for 18 years, and we share 2 sons that are half-brothers, so he's family. So you know, it was I've never done a movie like this before, where it's just like all your buddies get together and make a movie. You know?
And in 15 days. So
Yeah,
what
in
that
15
means
days.
is you really surround yourself by like-minded individuals that have that same vision
Yep.
and want the best outcome for this.
Absolutely.
Not just for themselves,
No.
but for everyone involved.
Everyone involved. Yeah.
That makes it incredibly special to do that. So when
then
your
the-
crew family came here,
Oh.
you just connected and embraced our town family. And I can say, there is, this is so funny. There are some restaurants in town where if I still pop in and out, they'll ask, hey, how's that person? How's that person? Because some of the actors really embraced certain little local diners or restaurants or
Yeah,
little pubs
that's
and
right.
got used to and got to know everyone there. So they became friends.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And they can't wait to come back for the premiere. I've talked to many of them on the phone in the last few days. They can't wait. You know, they can't wait to hit the haunts that they were hitting when they were here. And,
Yes. Well,
you know.
speaking of can't wait, this town can't wait. And I know we had a kickoff this last Saturday at Adams County Winery.
Yes.
That previewed a white and a red wine celebrating A Gettysburg Christmas. That is how much our town is into it. And I've already walked the square, and the Christmas decorations are starting to come out, and the theme is A Gettysburg Christmas.
I know, I love it. It's an honor, really. Yeah, and you know, the Adams County Winery, I'd been going there for several years, and what made me think of doing a Christmas wine was, oddly enough, I was at the liquor store the year before, and Hallmark came out with a Christmas wine.
Oh, wow.
And they had like 10 cases up, with a point of purchase kind of up front. And I went back about 2 weeks later. They were gone. There was like 4 bottles left, And I thought, golly, people love Christmas and they love Christmas wines.
Yep.
So I went to Adams County Winery, and I pitched them the idea. And we, over a period of about 6 or 8 months, we developed that wine. I like a dry wine. Most people like a sweeter wine.
Right.
So we came up with a balance of a white and red that I think is amazing. And after the launch on Saturday, there were so many wine drinkers out there.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, the consensus was sweet dry wine drinkers like the wine, and dry wine drinkers like the wine.
Yes.
So it's right in the middle of the road, and it was a great turnout. They had carriage rides and live music and food trucks.
So what they did,
It was amazing.
I was there. So Adams County Winery launched the red and the white A Gettysburg Christmas wine, and some of the different locations that you shot in an exterior came out and did a pop-up booth. I
That's
saw
right.
the Farnsworth House,
Yes.
the Christmas,
Mr. G's.
Mr. G's, and then the carriage ride represented the movie as well. So
Right.
I spoke to Dan, who
Yeah.
runs Adams County Winery, and he said to me, in 20 years, this was the most people to visit on one day.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
And I did try the red, and you're right, it is the perfect amount of dry with a tinge of sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when people love being a part of something, so the holidays, Christmas really does unite people.
It does.
So you bring that insular, you bring it to Gettysburg, and it's uniting our town. Then you go a step beyond, and you create a product that people could take as not just like a memory, but they can now gift it and say, I was a part of this.
Oh, absolutely.
I was in this movie as an extra, or
That's
my
right.
shop was in this. So it becomes more than a souvenir. It becomes an experiential wine for people, because every time they drink it or have it, they remember being a part of it. And if they weren't one of those 300 extras, they met people out. They saw where you were. They got to
That's right.
experience the town.
Get to watch people how to make a movie. A lot of people came out just to watch.
Yes.
And we had some high school kids that
Yes, you did.
I brought out. Chris actually coordinated it, and we would get them behind the camera. And my guys are my crew is so wonderful. They would stop in the middle of everything and explain to these kids what they do, how it's done, and
That is a whole nother
It's just
way
wonderful.
this movie fed back into the growth of the community. I
Right.
remember the high school kids that came out, and they were there. They were very dedicated.
yeah.
Very dedicated, and they showed up, and they were remarkable to be able to be around and watch them grow and learn, and their wheels spinning with excitement.
Absolutely. Because I grew up in a small town in Texas, and to me, making a movie was fantasy world.
Right.
Because everybody worked in refineries. I was in a blue-collar town. The thought of making a film or writing a script or directing a movie, that was fantasy. That was something they do in Hollywood. It was so far away from any kind of reference that I had growing up, and so I embrace every time a kid comes along that's interested, to just let them know that, yeah, you can do this if you want to. If you want it, it's yours. Just because you grow up in a little town way, way far away from Hollywood doesn't mean that you can't be a filmmaker someday.
You didn't just do that with these high school kids. Let me tell you a story. that happened in the department I was working in. So I had the honor, such a pleasure, to be a part of this process by working in the wardrobe and helping assist one of your main
You did a great job.
actresses. Thank you. And the individual that ran the wardrobe department also has that same type of connectability back. And we found ourselves going to a certain store right around Gettysburg and procuring like really great clothing or items or belts, because you know how the wardrobe can shift and change, and you just need to. And there were these two girls, both in high school, who worked behind this counter. And we were there so much that Rebecca, who ran our wardrobe department, actually invited these girls, and they came to the farmhouse when we were doing some of our last scenes. And they showed up in the bitter cold and worked it.
Yeah.
And that was another opportunity to share a vision and help excite people. Meet them where they're at, which was the clothing. Ask. It's as simple as asking, oh, do you have interest in this? Yes, I love working here.
Yeah, come on
out and see what could be.
You know, it was funny, while I was signing wine bottles on Saturday, this woman came up to me and said, I don't think you remember me. I don't expect you to, but I was a teacher. You came to our high school in Hagerstown 22 years ago and talked to the class and invited them all out. It was a drama class in a high school. And then invited them out to set. And I said, I vaguely remember that, yes. And I'd forgotten that I arranged for a people mover, you know, a big 20-person bus. They bring them out to the set of Gods and Generals. And then I would just go up to the actors like Jeff Daniels and go, I want you to talk to them. I know you're busy, I don't care. Give them 5 minutes, you know. And he'd walk over there and talk to them for 15 or 20 minutes. And I just got everybody that I could that was working that day to go over and talk to them about acting and what it's like to, you know, be in front of a camera and stuff like that. And the teacher told me that was one of the greatest gifts that those kids had, because it encouraged them so much to feel like they could do it if they wanted to. That they, you know, that doesn't matter that they're in Hagerstown, you know, far away from Hollywood.
And sometimes that's all it takes, just like you. You were far enough away from Hollywood in a small town that had no idea this could be your world. Another reason, I'm going to just keep going back to why this movie was so important for Gettysburg and really created this united feeling. Just what you talked about. We're in a society today where people are online, behind a screen, Zoom calls. So to be in the presence and really spend time and look at somebody in the eye and stop what you're doing and say, it's okay, you're 16, 17, 18. I have time to show you. I have time to just, even if it's a one-day mentorship, that's another reason this movie in Gettysburg did make, and will make such an impact moving forward, because of the possibilities, the connections that it created.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, there are actors in your movie who are friends with people they met on set in town.
Yeah. Tom Vera actually talked to a class, because he's a geologist by trade. And he talked to a class online, I believe. And
that's wonderful.
And he's gone to, I think he went to their school at one point when he was here. And he's reached out to a lot of the people that he's met. And actually all of them have, you know.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. I keep
well,
in
those
contact.
are the kind of actors that, you know, I love. And,
yes.
you know, that's why I'm friends with them, you know, is because we're all kind of in the same ilk of, you know.
I'm telling you, it was meeting them and being around your team and your crew. Amazing. It did absolutely feel like family. And I know when people have the opportunity to see this film, I know we're talking a lot about Gettysburg, but again, your postcard to the world of not just a beautiful, heartfelt message, but the postcards of who we are in Gettysburg and what that brings. I think you're doing exactly what you said, bringing from the battlefield interest interior.
Well, that was another thing. That was, it was interesting. when I asked Dale Gallen to do the painting of the Sachs Bridge, I'd taken a picture of the Sachs Bridge in the snow in 2021.
Yep.
And I said, here's the picture. I want you to make it Christmas. And he goes, what? I said, just make it Christmas. You're the artist.
Yeah.
And so that's what he added, the sleigh with the Christmas tree in the back. I thought that was so awesome. But he asked me, he goes, well, what does this have to do with history? And I said, it has everything to do with history. You know, because he was meaning the Civil War and everything. And I said, because what's going to happen is people will come here for the holidays and they'll discover the history.
Yeah.
As did happen with one of our actresses, Larissa Dolly.
Yes.
She came in not knowing anything about Gettysburg. And in the 4 days that she was here, she got totally immersed in the history. She went out to the battleground. She went to everywhere, the visitor centers. She got books on it. She sat up late at night reading about the Civil War, and she's like, I have got to come back here.
So the actors, unlike other ensemble acting groups, when you get together and you go to a location and you film, your team really embraced the town.
Oh, like...
wanted to immerse themselves into it. Again, Gettysburg isn't a set. It's life, it's real life. And coming here and filming in a real life, you can come back in 10 years and you can go to the same places.
But, you know, oddly enough, the same thing happened when we were shooting Gettysburg, the movie. The same thing happened. From that movie, 32 years ago, actually, or 31 years ago, most of the actors and a lot of the crew have been coming back ever since.
Yeah.
So many. Stephen Lang, for one, is a frequent flyer to Gettysburg, you know. But many others as well. Jeff Daniels and I came back here when we were shooting Gods and Generals. We got in a car and drove down here and went through the battlegrounds, had dinner at the lunch at the Dobbin House. You know, it's infectious almost when you're shooting here because the town is vibrant at night. You know, there's a lot of places to eat and go and hit the taverns and just...
And the people are
and the people just are so open arms. And
so friendly.
So, you know, it was a big hit with the cast and the crew.
So imagine what your movie's going to do for all the viewers who
I hope so.
Who see it. And
I'm hoping we can get it out there to the rest of the United States, and they don't just come for the battlegrounds, but they discover the battlegrounds when they get here.
I love that.
That way the wife can go shopping at all those cool shops.
Yes,
and the husband can run around the battlefield.
And then at night you have all these amazing eateries.
That's right.
and little pubs and whatnot to go into. Any final goodbye messages to your many, many fans?
I made this movie for Gettysburg, so I hope everybody likes it.
They were gonna love it. I mean, I had an opportunity to see some clips, and it is truly magical. And the ensemble, you mentioned earlier that these are all your friends, and I'm telling you, you can feel the connection through the screen.
I can feel it, yeah. I mean, I felt it on set.
Yeah.
You know, just everybody, it was just the synergy was there with that cast.
And placed
Truly.
in the heart of Gettysburg.
Yeah.
You really did hit movie magic.
Well,
I know
thank
that sounds
you.
cliche, but you did it. Well, thank you so much, Bo Brinkman. And
Thank you.
I am highly anticipating watching this film with all of you out there. Go online to find out where you can watch the movie A Gettysburg Christmas. And of course, Adams County Winery has that wine for you. So go out and enjoy a white or a red in theme of A Gettysburg Christmas. Thanks so much.
To begin with, I couldn't wait to be back in Gettysburg. And as soon as we pulled into the town square, I felt the magic hit and was reconnecting with people right off the street. And I was super excited to bring my partner here for the premiere so he could experience the magic as well.
It feels incredible. We got in last night and just seeing the tree in the square, which we will never forget how it was lit up until through February for us. The community, while we were filming, rallied behind us so beautifully. It was something I'd never experienced. And so coming back sort of felt like coming home.
I mean, it's amazing. I love the town, everyone, all of you. were so nice to us when we were shooting here. So welcoming, so warm, and it's like so quaint. What a quaint town, you know? Quintessential, beautiful, small town, but it's also kind of like a big town because all the people you get in, amazing. I've stopped into so many places. Hello, everyone. I love you. It's great to be back. Thank you for having us again.
Well, my daughter ruined Christmas. Never apologized, and I've never heard from her again. I'm telling you, this is a bad idea.
I can't believe I agreed to this.
Oh, hey, look, there's Dad. Let's go say hello.
Brian, no, please keep going.
Look who I got in the back.
Hey, Dad.
Hope, Denise Kelly, you don't even have a tree.
Yeah, I hate Christmas. Who is that?
That's my old Army buddy, Nick. Merry Christmas. I've heard a lot about you two.
I believe that you've been horribly disappointed by someone.
Did it ever occur to you that I might like my life?
You know, there's always more to the story than what you think you see. Listen to your heart.
I want this to be a Christmas we'll never forget.